Gravedigger is one of the most fun I've had on the Roblox platform in a while. I mean, just look at this. Look, my teammate is shooting, and I don't know what he's shooting me at. Oh shit.
I think we were on the same team and I just shot a guy.
Are you yellow? Is that Super? From Debunking? It easily made me put away Debunking and finally take a break from playing a game where they're adding shit like this. And it made me really broaden my horizons to more upcoming Roblox games, thanks to this new recommended feature they have. Now, mind you, as of July 2024, the game's still in its beta phase and it only had one major update. It's still solid in its current unfinished state, and I think that's an achievement to the game itself. The game is created by a renowned Roblox dev, Arch Eximus, or Red. In my opinion, Red's one of the most talented developers on the platform, and you may know her for her other releases such as Survival of the Fittest, Decaying Winter, Anomalous Activities, and more. The time period is the 1920s, and two powerful countries are on the scene, the Golden Empire and the Royal Nation, the cooler one, beginning the Kings and Queens War. With the surface utterly destroyed due to the battles paired with the occasional bomb droppings, even though life above ceases, the war does not. You are but a cog in the war machine, and their goal is simple: kill. The gameplay is very easy to learn, yet hard to master. You really only need to worry about 4 gameplay mechanics as a normal soldier, and that's your gun, your medical equipment, your pick, and your perks. The first 2 are pretty easy to grasp. Shoot the gun at enemies, as well as the ability to heal yourself and others. I'll get to perks later, but the pick is the real meat of the game. With the entire map being underground, almost all of it's completely destructible, save for a few areas by the spawns and in the corners of the map. It's a complete freedom in the PvP shooter genre that I feel isn't that commonly seen. Sure, you can have destructible buildings and areas, but the whole map being something you and your allies or maybe even your enemies want to make it is a completely foreign concept. You can create high up sniper perchers to get the drop on your enemy and dash around in confusing cave systems if they're on your tail. It can be a tight situation, pinned down under enemy gunfire, but if you play your cards right, you can dig around, over, or even under enemy and ambush them, starting a brutal knife fight. It's the complete freedom that makes this game feel so replayable and substitutes for the lack of any other map. Every single match you play will be so different from the other, with different tunnels and ambushes branching to all different directions. Thought that tunnel you dug straight to a point would help your team? Well, now the enemy can use it and you're being rushed. The mining feature really makes you think about the positions where you dig your holes, and if that position can realistically be defended, or, just As it stands, the only mode is an objective map, where you dig, defend, and capture 3 points on the map. Both teams have a summary of points starting at 500 and increasing every time someone on your team dies or a point goes uncaptured. These points are basically your team's lives and are shared between you and your comrades. It's inevitable that your team will run out of lives at some point, and when they reach 0, you get an order directly from command at the top of your screen. Return to base and defend now, or be labeled as a deserter. This will begin the next phase of the game, Siege. If you choose to ignore the message, you become visible through walls and take more damage, creating quite the target on your back for bloodthirsty enemies, seeking to end your opposition once and for all. For the team at 0 lives, the game becomes permadeath, making each and every nick of damage count. The most effective strategy is to hunker down at base and hold that, but just because your team appears to be losing now, it doesn't mean it's all over. This is where your Deus Ex Machina comes into play. Your enemies still have their life counter. If the point spread was close enough, and you can endure the storm of bullets and shrapnel, successfully fighting back against the enemy, their lives will reach 0 too, and both teams will become visible through walls. It creates a bitter end to a bitter conflict, with whatever side has the last standing soldiers take the victory. In the end, your allies are torn asunder in a hail of bullets, you and yourself facing the trauma and guilt of what you've endured. You ask yourself, was it worth it at the end? Fighting a war for a country who barely cares about you and your friends' well-being? Well, hey, at least they're helping the poor. Now for the perks. As of current, there are 6 perks in the game: Survivalist, Butcher, Snake Eyes, Veteran, Greyhound, and Tunnel Rat. Each perk has a quick paragraph of lore about them.
Guy doesn't speak much, huh? When you look at someone, I really do sometimes wonder what goes on in their heads.
Some people don't even have an inner voice. Could you just imagine that? The void, nothingness in your head, for hours at a time.
He's leaving now. Let's tag him. Maybe we'll learn something new about this war.
Or maybe he'll leave us to die, like he did his last battalion. Don't matter much now anyway. The bell has rung.
Yeah, so, you guys need a miner or something?
You can only have one perk maximum. Each one requires a different playstyle. Maybe it's a gun-forward veteran, focused on the quick reload and supporting your allies with suppressing fire, or the wild in-your-face butcher, who thrives off of knife kills, relying on them in order to heal or get another magazine to continue their slaughter. Each perk feels different, and may cater to a certain build or personal playstyle, and I think that's a great implementation. Now for the classes. They're a bit more complicated despite the small number of them currently released. As it stands, there's only 4, but I believe it's stated there's going to be a 5th one that will be melee based that they're working on. I'm not sure when it's going to release, probably not in the beta though. The 4 classes are as it follows. Soldat, your run-of-the-mill soldier with the ability to carry an extra magazine, small arm, or even another rifle if you pair it with the survivalist perk. Rook, they have a heavy pick allowing them to mine faster, as well as a hammer letting them build up defenses when holding a point. It can be really useful during the last stand, when you need to build defenses and barricades to keep the enemy at your base, or even when just holding a point, because then you could just build defenses and enemies can't really rush you. Okay, now imagine a quirked up white boy. Okay, keep that in your mind. Now imagine a quirked up white boy that can make multiple other quirked up white boys. That's basically the Mortician class. In any game, a medic is a godsend, but funnily enough, these guys don't just heal you. They have a total of 6 syringes, 2 of which heal you, albeit at different rates, in exchange for a debuff on the faster one, a morale boosting stim that increases fire rate and reload speed, a melee boosting stim which buffs your swing rate of both pickaxes and melee weapons, along with a little more visibility, a painkiller which reduces your flinching and in some cases can even remove it, and a stim that purges all chemicals from the body. The stims don't stack and you can only have 2 in effect at once, though the Mortician has the ability to apply these syringes to himself as well as others, potentially creating a team of quirked up white boys that you can find in a cave, and it's just over for you. Damn! Lastly, Officer. In exchange for losing their helmet, which can literally save your life, they gain faster point capture and get a whistle that buffs morale, hastening firing rate and reload speed of nearby allies. In my opinion, this class needs a buff. The lack of a helmet can really bite you in the ass, and ask anyone who's played the game. A helmet is literally your best friend. I really don't think it's worth the AoE version of an already existing class's buff. Now for the most fun topic, the weapons. There are a total of 7, potentially 8 weapons if you count the picks, one of which is a knife, one's a sword, 2 small arms, and the remaining are big weapons. Most of the weapons, similarly the perks, are tied with a nice little bit of lore, which I don't really have the time to go into, so check it out yourself. My favorite is the Volk rifle if you're wondering. Some of the guns make you question your nation for even thinking about sending you in the battle with them.
Bruh.
Some make you question the game and the platform it's on. How is he hitting me? Through the wood! Through the wood! I could not be more behind that fucking cover, man. I could not be more behind that damn cover. And some make you question the developer for even putting it in the game. Fuck you and your helmet. There's a second! Even though you have guns, your knife and sword are the real star of the show. In the cramped tunnels, your knife is really your best friend. I'm telling you, you can actually go fucking crazy with just a knife and the butcher talent. As you could probably tell, this is actually my first time I've made a video. This game was just so fun, I honestly felt like I've had to, and I've always really wanted to make a video on YouTube. Thanks Hauzo, Ghost, and Hazari for the voice acting. I'd say this game is poetic. Almost. In a cave somewhere. This guy, I think this guy's still here. He's pretending to be AFK. So if someone's gonna go up for a night kill, then he's gonna lock in. I believe in this guy. Believe in this guy. Believe in this guy. He's not AFK.